The crossroads of Eden, Egypt, and Babylon. Have you ever wondered where it all began? Where was Eden, the first home of humanity? Was it really in Mesopotamia like so many scholars claim? Or could the Garden of God have been rooted deep in Africa, the cradle of life itself? The Bible says Eden was watered by a river that split into four heads: the Pishon, the Gihon, the Tigris, and the Euphrates. Two of those rivers still exist today, winding through what we call Iraq. But the Gihon is said to flow around the land of Cush, an ancient name for Ethiopia. That means Eden might not have been in just one region. It might have stretched from the lush valleys of Africa all the way toward Mesopotamia, before the flood reshaped the world we know. After Adam and Eve were cast out, they settled east of Eden, still close enough to remember what paradise once looked like. Their children grew, and humanity spread. But with growth came corruption. Cain murdered Abel, and generations later the world was filled with violence until God sent the great flood to start over through one man, Noah. When the waters receded, Noah's Ark came to rest on the mountains of Ararat in what's now Turkey and Armenia. From there, humanity spread again. Some went south into Africa, others moved east into Mesopotamia. Among them was a mighty man, Nimrod, Noah's great-grandson, the hunter and empire builder. He gathered people together and built a city called Babel, with a tower that would reach into the heavens. Humanity was united once again, but in rebellion. They wanted to make a name for themselves without God. So God came down, confused their language, and scattered them across the earth. The spirit of Babel never died, though. It re-emerged centuries later in the Empire of Babylon, a city of power and pride that rose out of the same land Nimrod once ruled. Its walls were legendary, its ziggurats scraped the skies, and its kings believed they were gods. Babylon became the symbol of man's arrogance, the same defiance that started in Eden's shadow. But while Babylon ruled in the east, another great power ruled in the west: Egypt. Fed by the Nile and rich with gold, Egypt was the heartbeat of Africa and one of the most advanced civilizations on earth. Egypt was where Abraham sought refuge during famine, where Joseph rose to power, and where the Israelites became slaves before God freed them through Moses. Egypt stood for strength and knowledge, yet it also stood for idolatry and oppression. Between these two giants, Egypt in Africa and Babylon in Mesopotamia, stood a small strip of land called Israel, tiny in size yet chosen by God to be the center of his story. Whoever controlled Israel controlled the trade and travel between empires. But spiritually, it was more than that. It was the bridge between worlds, the land where heaven and earth would one day meet again through Christ. Think about it. Eden may have stretched from Africa to Mesopotamia. Noah's descendants rebuilt in the same lands. Babel became Babylon. Egypt became the mirror image of Babylon's power, and Israel was placed right in the middle, a witness to all nations that true power comes not from empires or idols, but from the living God. Even today, the echoes of that ancient triangle remain: Africa, the land of beginnings; Mesopotamia, the land of kingdoms and rebellion; and Israel, the land of promise and redemption. The story of humanity, from Eden to Babylon to now, is the story of pride, exile, and God's mercy trying to bring his people home. Disclaimer and closing message. Remember to always do your own research and study to find truth for yourself. Some of these ideas come from ancient texts, traditions, and theories that may or may not be literal. Some may hold truth, others may simply open doors of curiosity. Search, study, and pray for wisdom. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to check out more of our videos. Subscribe, share, and like our channel so we can keep uncovering the mysteries of the Bible, one story, one discovery at a time.